Good morning, students. This is Murthy sir. In the last class, we discussed about the properties of chemical elements and their trends in groups and periods. Today, we will study the construction of periodic table in detail. First, we will see the difference between Moseley's periodic law and modern periodic law. Moseley's periodic law states that the physical and chemical properties of the elements or the periodic functions of their atomic numbers. This is Moseley's periodic law. The modern periodic law says that the physical and chemical properties of elements or the periodic functions of their electronic configurations. Students, this difference you have to keep in mind. When we look at the 18 groups present in the modern periodic table, in group 1, extreme left, highly reactive metallic elements are placed. They are called alkali metals. In group 18, the extreme right, least reactive noble gases or inert gases are present. Now let us see the reason why group 1 elements are called alkali metals. These are so called because they form hydroxides on reaction with water, which are strongly alkaline in nature. So this is the reason why group 1 elements are called alkali metals. Now let us see the reason why group 2 elements are called alkaline earth metals. These are so called because their oxides and hydroxides are alkaline in nature, and these metal oxides are found in the earth's crust. This is the reason why group 2 elements are called alkaline earth metals. S block and P block elements are together called representative elements because their outer shells are not completely filled with electrons, and the elements get the nearest inert gas configuration by losing or gaining or sharing of electrons. They are chemically very active. Students, when we look at the 6 groups present in P block, group 13 is called boron family, group 14 carbon family, group 15 nitrogen family, group 16 oxygen family, it is also called chalcogen family, group 17 halogens, and group 18 noble gases or inert gases. You can see the representation here. S and P block are together called representative elements, and they are shown here. Students, when we observe P block elements, 3 types of chemical elements are present here. You can see metalloids or semi-metals with green colored staircase demarcation. Left to that are metals, and right to that yellow colored region, they are non-metals. Students, what you are observing here, the middle region, yellow colored region, are D block elements, and they are called transition elements. Why they are called transition elements? In a way, transition metals form a bridge between the chemically active metals of S block elements and the less active elements of group 13 and 14, and thus take their familiar name transition elements. In transition elements, total 10 groups are there, from group 3 to group 12. So D block elements, they exhibit transitional behavior between S and P block elements. Their properties are transitional between highly reactive metallic elements of S block, which are typically ionic compounds, and elements of P block, which are bilarge covalent compounds. Elements of D block are all metals. They form colored ions, they exhibit variable valency, they show paramagnetism, and often they are used as catalysts. Students, now let us see the IUPAC definition of transition elements. A transition element having a D subshell that is partially filled with electrons, or an element that has the ability to form stable cations with an incompletely filled d orbital. This is the definition given by IUPAC, International Union for Pure and Applied Chemistry. Students, one interesting feature with d block elements is they show variable valency. Let us see what is variable valency. Some elements differ in their capacity to combine with other elements depending on the nature of the reaction. This property is called variable valency. For example, the iron in ferrous oxide exhibits a valency of +2, whereas in ferric oxide it has a valency of +3. Students, here one thing you have to remember. Lower valency, we use the suffix OUS. Higher valency, we use the suffix RIC. In case of copper, +1 and +2 valencies are there. For students, Cu+1 is called cuprous. Cu+2 is called cupric. Students, now let us see inner transition elements. They are called lanthanides and actinides. These inner transition elements are also called 4F elements. They are actually extension of transition elements. These inner transition elements are mostly radioactive and synthetic elements. Many of the actinoid elements have been made only in nanogram quantities or even less by nuclear reactions, and their chemistry is not fully studied. The inner transition elements beyond atomic number 92 up to 103 are synthetic as well as radioactive. Students, the elements after uranium are called transuranium elements. Inner transition elements form colored ions. The inner transition elements show variable valencies. Actinides are radioactive by nature. And now let us see the characteristics of metals and non-metals. In the periodic table, out of 118 elements, more than 78% elements are metallic in nature. So more than 78% are metals. Let us see the chemical properties of metals. Metals easily corrode. Metals lose electrons easily. Their outer shell has 1, 2 or 3 electrons. Most metals form metal oxides when they come in contact with the oxygen. Metals have low electronegativities. They are mostly electropositive elements. Metals are also good reducing agents. Now let us see the chemical properties of non-metals. Non-metals generally have somewhere around 4 to 8 electrons in the outer shell. Non-metals tend to gain or accept valence electrons. When they are exposed to oxygen, non-metals react with oxygen to form acidic oxides. Non-metals have high electronegativity. They are electronegative elements. Non-metal elements are good oxidizing agents. Students, let us see some examples of non-metals. Boron, carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, oxygen, sulfur, fluorine, chlorine, noble gases. So all these are examples of non-metallic elements. Now let us see what are metalloids or semi-metals. They are present in between metals and non-metals. It is shown clearly with a staircase demarcation. These are very few elements. Friends, the examples for metalloids or semi-metals are silicon, germanium, arsenic, antimony, tellurium, polonium and astatine. A metalloid is a chemical element that exhibits some properties of metals and some of non-metals. In the periodic table, metalloids form a zagged zone dividing elements that have clear metallic properties from elements that have clear non-metallic properties. Students, these metalloids are semi-metals or 7 in number. In these 7 elements, antimony symbol is Sp. It is Latin name Stibium. And another one is PO, polonium, named after country Poland. Great scientist Marie Curie belongs to Poland, so as a mark of respect, the name polonium. Now let us see what are noble gases. They are 6 in number: helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon and radon. The noble gases or inert gases are the elements in which the outermost shells are completely filled with the electrons, so they don't participate in any chemical reactions in the ordinary conditions. Noble gases are allotted the group 18, extreme to the right. Some radioactive elements are named after great scientists as a mark of respect. Mendelevium, named after Dmitry Mendeleev. Einsteinium, named after Albert Einstein. Curium, named after Marie Curie. Rutherfordium, named after Ernst Rutherford. Roentgenium, named after W. K. Roentgen. Bohrium, named after Niels Bohr. Fermium, named after Enrico Fermi. Meitnerium, named after Lise Meitner. Nobelium, named after great Alfred Nobel, who founded Nobel Committee, Nobel Prizes.